It's not about being pregnant and having a birth kid. That's not what being a parent is. Being a parent is loving your kid whether or not it came from you or someone that you might not know.
It's the biggest responsibility I've ever had in my life.
It's responsibility, it's teaching. It can get messy, but that's what we're called to do.
My life before Kobe, before adopting him, was very different. I was all about my husband. I was all about, he's a high school football coach. I don't necessarily have a booming career, so I threw my life into supporting him. I quit college. I thought that I was going to get pregnant and have babies and just be a stay-at-home mom, and that didn't happen. My life looked tremendously different because it was all about my husband, and now it's definitely still some of my husband, but you know, babies require a lot of attention.
My wife and I have always had a heart for the ones that, you know, are the least of these or the needy that didn't maybe have what we had growing up. Then we began about 7 years ago fostering and knew that we would adopt. We got a call from my sister-in-law, who is a nurse practitioner, and called my wife and said, there's this little girl and she just had her second heart surgery, and she's been here a month and there's no one that is interested in taking her. Her mother had lost rights to her because she was born with cocaine in her system, so immediately she lost rights. Through the surgeries, no one was going to come get her, so we said yes, and we headed to Dallas, where we roomed in with her 24 hours to show us how to care for her. And she came home with us. Nora is a very vivacious personality. When she comes in people's world, you know immediately this girl has a lot of life. She was born with a condition called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. So that's where the left side of the heart does not develop normally and causes massive issues of blood flow. And so there's a 3-surgery progression at birth, and then when they're about 6 months old, they have another one, and then right before they turn 4, which is what we just went through this summer. They reconstruct the left side of the heart and build valves and connect valves to other parts. It's amazing. And they go in, they rebuild it, and just for better blood flow, because that's the problems with these children. They don't have good blood flow, and oxygen is a problem. You can imagine the problems that causes.
Going into this, it's a little bit scary because it's an open adoption, and you can be as open or as closed as you would like, depending on your agreement with the birth mother. At first, Tay, our birth mother, did not want to even see Kobe until he was 18 years old. She wanted pictures. She wanted to stay in communication with me, but she didn't even want to see him until he was 18 years old. And after learning how healthy open adoption is, that concerned me a little bit because I wanted this situation to be as healthy as possible for him. Anyway, all of that to say, Kobe was born and Tay changed her mind. And by then, Tay and I had built this fantastic relationship. My husband got to be in the room, my mom, my sister, me, Tay's mom. I got to do skin on skin with Kobe. We got to name him, obviously. And then I handed him to her, and she was loving and crying, but nothing was awfully sad. She just said, he's not mine, he's yours. She is our angel, and she did probably the most selfless thing anybody could ever do for us and for him. And I just hope and pray that they'll have a great relationship, and he'll always know about her. She'll be Tay to him, and she'll always be important. I have no hesitation under the sun about raising a black child, a child a different race than me. I am so very passionate about it. My whole life, I've loved people of every color, but there's a lot of things that I was not affected by. And now my life, my child, the person that I love more than anybody else in the entire world, is affected by things they've never necessarily faced me before because I didn't understand them. And now, him being my responsibility, my pride, my joy, it's changed my whole world and my whole outlook on life.
My parents both worked at in Father Heart. It's a ministry that helps teenage pregnancies. They just were around a lot of unwanted pregnancies, a lot of like adoption cases, and a lot of unwanted kids, and so it really gave them a heart for foster care and stuff like that. My birth mom had been kicked out of my birth grandma's house, and she already had a baby, a 1-year-old that was my older sister. And so the only way for her to be taken back into care of my birth grandma was if she gave her second kid up for adoption or had an abortion. So she decided to put her up for adoption. And so I was adopted an hour after I was born. I was super lucky. A lot of kids go through foster care, and it can be a really, really traumatic experience for a lot of them. The big picture, I wish adoption didn't have to be, like I wish every kid could have 2 parents that love them and like a stable family, but that's not the world, obviously. I think it's awesome that people like lay down their stability, It's awesome, and I really want to be a part of that, not to say oh, I adopted, but just to be able to give a kid a life and a restart, and make them feel loved.
The years of waiting, wanting positive pregnancy tests, just watching your husband want to become a father, not knowing if that will ever happen. As happy as it is, especially when you love the birth mother, it is grueling watching them be in pain.
It totally changes your entire family dynamics and the way you operate. So that is never easy. It can get messy, but that's what we're called to do. James 1:27 talks about pure and undefiled religion is to visit the widow and the orphan in their affliction. So we are to pour our lives into these that are the fatherless.
Say thank you.